Here we go.
Air traffic control, bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
This is Radio. Back again for number 10. Join Big B, DK, and Mike Jolitz for all the hot topics, weird news, and shenanigans. It's Cave Crew Radio, Season 10 at cavecrewradio.com.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It is a time again for another live Cave Crew Radio pre-show here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and cavecrewradio.com. I guess it's the official last day of summer, Big B, but I'm not ready to pack it in just yet.
I didn't even realize that being the 22nd, that I guess it is the official last day of summer according to the seasons.
Yeah.
And the autumnal whatever starts tomorrow.
See, to me, fall/winter starts when we set the clocks back and I'm trapped in darkness for 6 months.
Right.
That's when I don't get depressed. I mean, I'm always a happy guy. We get on here, but I just a little more reserved in what I do. You know, summertime, tomorrow I'll go out, I'll maybe wash the car, get gas, check my lottery tickets, go out in the back, get some sun, maybe have a fire. When it gets dark, it's like shut down.
Yeah, everything shuts down very, very early, and there's nothing to do. I like part of my job is user creation,
right?
And there's dates, like start dates, and I'm starting to see now a few starting in October, and in my mind, I'm still in like July.
Yes,
so I'm thinking October. That's so far away. It's literally 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's close. You'd appreciate. I should tell you this story from work. It's nothing mentioning any names. So we are switching over. We're switching over to many things far too fast. But since we've been purchased, we are now switching over to ADP payroll.
Yep, I know
ADP. As of Monday.
Yep,
we were on UKG before.
Oh, we're on UKG now at my place.
Oh, okay. So I like UKG. I really like it. And I'm familiar with it. I've been dealing with it for 5+ years.
Right.
And no one likes it, but everyone's having problems logging in. And I took Monday off, but change is such a shock. ADP is a big payroll company, though.
It is. In my previous job, we had ADP.
Yeah. And I'm sure once we get over the humps, but I'm the one that has to do the edits and get people's passwords recovered, and I'm not an IT guy like you.
It's anytime there's huge system changes like that, that's a monstrous change, right? Because that affects everybody, and it's payroll and benefits and all of this stuff rolled into one program. So you got to move over. Especially if you're doing it like in the middle of the middle of the year, kind of. So you got to make sure everybody's previously requested time off gets moved over, all of this stuff, and everything's accounted. It's a huge, huge undertaking.
All their credits, whatever their RSP deductions are, if they want extra off their paycheck, you've got our long-term disability we pay, so if you want it, you don't get taxed, and I don't know how it works over there, but a lot of shit. So I clicked on it today. I got in okay. I got set up. My whole team's set up now, but I'm not showing my team. So even though I'm off, I'm going to go in and do payroll on Monday. That's going to be the final UKG, so I'm good. But we got like 2 weeks to iron out all this shit. Because the one thing you don't mess with is people's paychecks.
That is 100% correct.
Right? Like That's one thing that'll cause people to walk or get angry or
Yep.
whatever. So that's my world right now, besides another million things.
But I'm sure you have ADP people helping you with this transition.
Well, yeah, but it just it never works. Okay, like nothing ever goes smooth. Ever.
Well, no, that's 100% correct. Nothing ever goes smooth, but there at least should be some form of transition team with ADP to make sure that people do get paid and they don't miss their regular paycheck.
Right. I want to start a new game without checking, without going and looking. Name a Facebook user by their terminology. I don't think that's Isbia. That looks like something Amanda would say.
All right. Well,
How about you?
I'm looking that up now because as you said,
What
don't
would
look
you
it up.
say though before you look?
Before I look, hey guys,
Could be Isbia, I guess, but
I'll go out on a limb and say Amanda.
okay, that's what I'm saying.
Let's see.
But this is a new game, ladies and gentlemen.
It
Since you won't
is.
click your identity, the new game is guess Facebook user by the words they're using.
Are we ready to figure out who it is?
Okay, you want a drum roll or anything like that?
If you have a drum roll ready, if not, that's fine.
Got everything.
It is Jason Scott.
Jason Scott with a hey guys.
Yeah. Usually he puts his name in there.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
So he threw us for a whirl. So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, when we see Facebook user, Big B goes over to Facebook and checks. I can't because I'm on the main studio.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of you show up as Facebook user. Now, Mike Jolitz, when he shows up, will say, Mike.
Right.
And sometimes Amanda will do that. But I mean, my wife is Facebook's user. This could be a new listener. We don't know.
Right. But we have no idea.
Jason Scott, great to see you. Soon to be a social influencer. It's not for me to talk about. When he's ready, we got to get him on the show. He's going to be famous.
Is he going to be the influencer of Blue Mountain pottery and how to send it to people in the United States of America?
That's not for me to announce. He says we have to grant permission every time. It's so annoying. Well, send that message to Be Live. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, aside from like our work talk and stuff we do on the pre-show, great show ahead, I think. We got Mike reads the news. I don't know if you felt the same as me, Big B, but it's one of those weeks where I wasn't confident in the stories. And you know what usually happens then?
I because you send me the stories and I have to read them and sort them in the order that I want them read. I never not have confidence in it because if I don't pick something, that's the thing I don't have confidence in. I'm not going to.
So, you have an edge on me there.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm reading the full stories or most of the, sometimes I just skim because I don't have time. But if I don't pick a story, that means there's nothing to it. It's just a straight thing. I know we're not going to get anything out of it. Anything that I send you, I know we're going to get something out of.
All right. So I have utmost confidence in you because to give you a quick behind the scenes with only 40 seconds left here, what I do, ladies and gentlemen, is I scan Reddit pages and weird news and the villages and all these other things. And I don't have a lot of time. So I'm reading a headline and I'm like, I like the headline.
Mm.
But Big B's correct. Sometimes the headline can be very misleading. And I have the utmost confidence in Big B with his lineup tonight. So what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, if you bear with us, we're going to turn on the radio and we're going to get the live show going. So here I go. press play. And yeah.
The show is about to start. We have liftoff. In 3, 2, 1.
Bam! We are back again for number 10. Cave Crew Radio, Season 10. Let's go. CaveCrewRadio.com.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Craven, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power play goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DK. I'm live from my cave in Windsor, Ontario. It's great to be here with you. I'm going to show you a few things real quick. I am live from my cave in Windsor, Ontario. We're live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on CaveCrewRadio.com and Paul Stock Radio over in England and syndicated worldwide, and of course available wherever podcasts can be found. Before I bring my co-host in, I don't know what I look like tonight. I thought I looked pretty good for an old guy. DK, it's not Halloween. Take off your mask. Where is producer Scotty? We have seen nothing of producer Scotty in at least a year. Hoping him in his chair, wherever they are well. We pray. If you ever saw the movie Tron or Lawnmower Man, he's perhaps lost inside of a second life. Man, he's throwing these things at me a mile a minute. A French-Canadian beer. Actually, Labatt's Blue is out of London, Ontario, is where their head office is. And am I live on OnlyFans? I'm going to start by saying, and feel free to write it down. I don't think it's that good. I have not OnlyFans. I don't think I do very well at it. I'm not even doing very well at this. But anyway, without further ado, we have a great show ahead. We got Mike reads the news. We got our usual stuff. We got our news. We got Talking FLA. But I don't want to steal the show. I'm not a Mike Hogg. Over to my co-host.
And now, he is the king of the sovereign county of Urian Stench and Stenchlandia, the commander-in-chief of the Water Gypsies, the self-proclaimed president of the United States, a university graduate, and always the epicenter of something. Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness, Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am King B. And my epicenter this week is the first yellow phlegm flu of the season.
Oh, it's so early.
Starting from last week. Now, if you recall, we talked during last week's show that that Saturday, the following Saturday, we were going out to a friend's barbecue.
Yes.
I woke up Saturday morning with my throat on fire. And I thought maybe because I had the air conditioner on and the weather's changing, I thought, it'll go away. Did not go away. Only got worse. And I've been sick this entire week since last Saturday. I'm just now getting over it. I still talk coughing.
Jason Scott is suggesting you put on your Cave Crew Radio mask. No, I don't want you to. I won't be able to hear you. We are virtual right now. I think we're more than 6 feet apart. There it is. He still has it, ladies and gentlemen. I might as well zoom on him now because we also have to look at his shirt. There's the you can still get those, by the way, if they recall. Ladies and gentlemen, that shirt right there is the most expensive shirt you will ever buy. Big B had a professional person make this. This was the original Cave Crew Radio t-shirt. You cannot get it anymore. But I bought one. And it was a good deal. I think it was like 15 or 16 bucks US. The shipping was 50 bucks.
Shipping was not $50.
You're never going to live that down. You're never going to live that down. But we hope you feel better a week with the yellow phlegm. Are you drinking? Are you still drinking that beet juice and shit?
I'm not. I'm drinking beer. I haven't.
I think you should have I would recommend alcohol kills everything, and including our livers. But however, that's not the minute. It will cure. It'll break up the phlegm. It will help you sleep. It'll help you sweat, which will get the yellow phlegm flu out of you.
Well, that's been my diet has been Halls, cough drops, Dayquil, and Tylenol. That's been my diet this entire week.
We need to back up on this though, because we had a much better epicenter last week. Is that you were the epicenter of all things alone time. And you're not usually in a hurry to get off the show, but you were very excited because your wife and your son were building a tent and having a movie, and you had the whole king size bed to yourself. We need a recap of your alone time before you woke up with your throat on fire and the yellow phlegm flu, I'm assuming.
So that actually goes into my epicenter. So yes, we were. I was prepared for alone time last week. Coming off, my younger son wanted to have this camp out in the living room. Pillows were set up. All of this was going on. We went off air. I went upstairs. I said, "Good night, all. I'm going up to bed." Went upstairs. I put on the TV, whatever I was watching. I fell asleep. When I woke up at some point at the middle of the night, my wife was next to me.
Oh.
There was no alone time. Well, alone time didn't last that long.
So we spent quite a bit of time on this last week, you and I, talking about how we appreciate it. And I think our wives probably appreciate it as well. It's not a one-sided thing, but like how alone time is so precious when you've been married as long as us and we have kids and pets and jobs and yada yada. This was a bust.
If on that day, yes, because I woke up and my wife's next to me. So I woke in the morning, with my throat on fire. I said, "What happened?" She said she was uncomfortable on the couch, and they went upstairs. They went into his room for a little bit and tried to do stuff there, but it was again uncomfortable. So she just went to bed, and my son went to bed. So fast forward to me being sick. Now remember, I'm sick all week.
Yeah.
So come probably Tuesday, I'm dead on my feet. I'm still working and all that, but I'm just dead on my feet. I can't breathe.
Right.
I feel like shit.
A man flu.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So my wife says, I'm disinfecting things. You go upstairs and sleep. I'm going to stay down here in the living room. I said, our little one's going to want to stay with you.
Alone time.
So this time they figured it out where she could get comfortable and sleep, and so could my little one. So for Tuesday and Wednesday, I had 2 days of alone time.
Oh, did
They
someone
stayed
bring
down in the
you
living room.
chicken soup at least?
I did have some chicken soup at some point, but
Yeah.
2 days of alone 2 days of alone time, which was more than made up for the last Friday night alone time that I didn't get.
But was it worth it with the yellow phlegm flu?
Absolutely, because
Oh, okay.
you sleep better, you feel more comfortable, and as we were talking about how alcohol would make things better, that leads directly into.
And I hope this is something that's good for you for your flu. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for
Mrs. B presents the drink of the week.
Never works the way I want it to. All right. There. That's better.
So this week's drink of the week is an apple cider martini.
Oh, and she's giving you extra.
Yes, this week I have extra. So what's in here is apple cider,
Of course. Yep.
apple Ciroc.
Oh.
What? What the hell is Cointreau?
It's like NyQuil. It's just gonna knock you out.
Right. No, it's apparently an orange liqueur.
Just pretend it's episode 400.
Yes. Fresh lemon juice,
Yeah.
maple syrup, cinnamon, and some simple syrup, the famous simple syrup.
Yeah.
And as garnish in here is, I'm assuming this is a cinnamon stick.
Yes. Either
and
that
an
or a
apple
bully
slice.
bone from the dogs.
Huh?
Either that or a bully bone from the dogs.
It could be because my dogs are barking upstairs, so it may very well be. And an apple. I thought we didn't have apples. Oh, she bought an apple. Okay, so
Oh,
an
is-
apple slice and a cinnamon stick. All right, let's see what it tastes like.
And then once he sips it, we'll have him ask Mrs. B if this will help him sleep through the yellow phlegm flu.
It's more like apple juice than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I know there's alcohol in there, but it's more like apple juice.
What was the booze? I didn't hear the booze.
It was apple Ciroc, which is vodka.
Oh, okay.
And the Cointreau, which was orange liqueur.
Oh, so you've got, but very high in vitamin C.
Sure. Yes, this is a healthy alcohol drink.
Well, healthy for someone that's sick. It's kind of Mrs. B's version of the hot toddy.
Right. So they're saying that because I've been sick this entire week, that this is your version of a hot toddy to help me feel better. Vitamin C. She just said vitamin C.
Mrs. B and I are on the same page. We only want you to feel better.
Well,
But
I have.
Can you, only because Mrs. B does not have a mic, can you relay this and pretend you're not hearing it?
Sure.
Mrs. B, do you believe he's playing this up so he can have more alone time?
The question is, do you believe that I'm playing my sickness up so I could have more alone time, which, when you spent Tuesday and Wednesday downstairs and I was up in the bedroom by myself, am I playing this up so I can get more alone time? She says I'm playing it up so I can get more alcohol.
Oh, geez. That you don't need to be sick to have more.
I don't need to be sick to get more alcohol. I have an entire freaking bar plus alcohol next to me.
Yes, you could survive the apocalypse. If I had to ride a bicycle, ladies and gentlemen, 11 hours by car, I not the most athletic person you'd ever meet, but I would definitely head to Big B's bunker for the apocalypse.
Come here, we'll get you all fucked up.
Yep, and cheerio. Ladies and gentlemen, the drink of the week, always a great job. And Big B has a little extra.
It's literally like apple juice. But it's light. It's crisp. No, it's light. Yeah, but it's literally like that would put me on the floor. It's like Mott's apple juice.
No, but now here's a question before we move into.
Don't go anywhere. I don't know if he's asking you or me.
Well, no, I'm asking you if like when you're sick. I like when I eat food and drink and stuff. I don't taste it. You've got your senses.
Oh no, actually, so Sunday I was sick as a dog, but we had previously ordered stuff to make chili, so I made chili. I was smoking meats and doing stuff outside. outside. So the next day I tried to eat some chili. I couldn't. My wife opens the container, says, "Oh, this smells great. I can't smell it." She's like, "Oh, it tastes good. I can't taste it. I'm eating it, but I can't taste it." So I'm in the same boat. You can't. It's tough to smell and taste things when you're all clogged up.
Now, is that not a signal where it's time to swab for the 19?
No, that's. I mean, that's with every cold. You get sinuses blocked. You're not going to smell anything, and you're not going to. Your food is going to taste different. It's not that you don't taste it at all. When I had COVID-19, like she gave me bacon, I didn't taste it. I couldn't smell or taste bacon at all, which was weird.
A very distinct
right
flavor. But I love the government and company warnings these days. If you have a runny nose, if you have a headache, if your body aches or you have a cough, things that I have every day. Alex, I'll take water allergies for 200.
Right. Yeah.
It is not necessarily COVID.
And that was when I was texting my friend to tell him, like, I'm not going to go to the barbecue because he's got little kids and I don't want to get them sick. Or my friends that are there. The first thing he asked is, "Do you think it's COVID?" I said, "No, it's a fucking head cold. You don't have COVID."
Got to keep each other from getting sick.
Yeah, so that's my epicenter and drink of the week all tied together this week.
Beautiful segment. Beautiful. Now, are you able to go into the news, or do you want Mike to give you a short break?
No, I can. I had it pulled up.
All right. Well, you pull it up. I mean, we're not there yet, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for this week of Weird News, one of our favorite segments.
Behind the headlines this week in Weird News.
Yes, it is. This week in Weird News, and you're pulling things up, and I gotta navigate between screens, so bear with me as well. Oh, I'm so excited about this story. The right screen. I never get the right screen. But anyhow, the royal family is surrounded by scandal, ladies and gentlemen. They always have been. But this is one of my favorites. And here we go, Big B, into the royal family.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of this when I first read the story. This one comes from Yahoo Life.
Oh, okay.
Headline reads: New TV show claims King Charles piloted a UFO in Canada.
In Canada, he could have flown right over my roof, and I probably thought it was a shooting star.
Have you UFO'd?
I have not UFO'd. No. Okay. That I know of, that I can recall. Have you UFO'd?
Never once.
Okay. No one's been
in UFOs in New York.
If you've UFO'd in chat, please let us know. We want to interview.
King Charles once flew a UFO, a new show called Nub TV has claimed.
Nub. Okay.
Filmmaker and Nub TV host Mark Christopher Lee, who recently called on the British monarch to help push for disclosure regarding alien spacecraft, has stated that he has received testimony and evidence regarding the royal family's interest in UFOs dating back to Earl Louis Mountbatten.
Oh, geez, that Mountbatten, that's way back. I'm going to say 1500s, 16?
Probably not, because it's Prince Philip's uncle.
Oh, 1800s then.
Right. Who allegedly had a UFO land on his Broadlands estate.
Oh. Did he do this? Boom, 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 boom.
with a giant mound of mashed potatoes. Maybe. This interest was then passed on to Philip, who died in April 2021 at age 99, who himself was regularly briefed on the latest UFO news from his private secretary. Philip took a keen interest in the Rendlesham Forest incident, which has been dubbed as the British Roswell.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
The show investigates the outlandish claim from a former colleague of King Charles who alleges that they were both working on on Project Serpico in Sandy Point in Canada during 1975.
How have I never read about this before? I'm Canadian.
I was going to ask you about that. Have you ever heard of Have you ever heard of Charles working in Canada in 1975?
Never working. And 1975 is ancient and as old as I am. I really wouldn't know. But the royal family would come and visit Canada quite frequently because we are still considered a commonwealth,
Right.
even though we run our own country. So I've known of him and Diana and his mother and Philip and even Harry and William coming to visit. It's a frequent thing not to come to my hometown. Perhaps they've been here a few times. And they drive by at 200 miles an hour with the old witch doing this. But anyway, so it's I wouldn't consider it work though. They're coming as a what would you call it? Like a a visit.
Right, just a visit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in 1975, whilst stationed in Sandy Point, the then Prince Charles was alleged to have actually flew one of these craft, a smaller UFO type vehicle that looked like a version of the Avrocar, which was developed unsuccessfully in Canada in 1959.
No idea what any of this is. So apparently in Canada we got downed UFOs, or we've capped. We might have a Roswell of our own. I have no idea. I'd call it Cornwall, Ontario. But anyway, he hopped in a UFO, went for a joyride. Is what you're.
Well, this is what the Nub TV alleges.
Okay.
Charles's craft actually had 3 pilots with 3 pilot domes, all encased in a heat-sensitive glass dome to protect the pilots from the magnetic effects given off by the larger craft controlling their flight.
So they're not really piloting then.
The craft gave off a blue iconic flame and was able to submerge into the water. The larger craft followed behind Charles and was controlling his craft's flight by means of some form of electromagnetic force. That vehicle looked like a massive helicopter with long blades. The project was also testing submersible UFO-type vehicles, which could maneuver in both air and water. These had been tested in the Sandy Bay area since the 1950s, and one of these experimental craft may have even led to the nearby famous Shag Harbor UFO incident of 1967, where a low-flying object was seen entering the waters of the harbor.
I first of all, where's Sandy Point?
I don't know.
Where's Shag Harbor?
I don't know.
I've never heard of these places in my country. It's almost like Journey to the Center of the Earth, or you might remember this, Big B, when you said it's submerged. I'm thinking of the flying sub on Admiral Nelson in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
I mean, obviously, going through this story, let's see. Real quick, the story's almost over. It says the story is investigated in the new series of Nub TV, which is available on iZot TV, channel 186 on Sky, and Tubi. in the U.S. So I have Tubi here in the U.S. I have to watch this.
Yes, please do, and report back.
So, I mean, you listen to it, it sounds like, like a story I used to read as a kid, a science fiction story,
Yes.
the black hole or something like that. This sounds incredibly stupid.
Oh, well, I agree. I have no idea where the places you named are in Canada. If anyone could Google them and report back to us as Cave Crew Radio fact checkers, we rely on you. But
so, wait, okay. A little more about the person. It says it's hosted by Mark Christopher Lee and Guy Thompson.
Yep.
And is now in its 4th season, during which they will explore crop circles, alien abductions, the mental internet, Bigfoot, and Charles's alleged UFO experience.
Okay, great.
So
You
this
should also
is
watch the Bigfoot one. Remember how that guy was on the show and told me that?
yes.
Yeah.
The guy, the Bigfoot guy that his church was listening to the show.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if you recall or it made its way up to Canada when True TV first came out. True TV is a network here in the US. I don't know if you have it in Canada.
We probably have it somewhere out there.
So True TV came out as what it was called, True TV. It was like a reality type based television network. And one of the shows was hosted by Jesse Ventura.
Oh yes, the former governor of Minnesota and professional wrestler.
Right, the former tag team champion along with Adrian Adonis.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All right.
Yes, they were tag team champions. It was all about conspiracy theories and how, because Jesse Ventura is like this conspiracy theory psychotic. And it was so awful and so fake and so scripted. And Jesse can't act for shit on this show.
He's a wrestler.
It was so, that's what this reminds me of. It's just going to be a terrible, terrible, scripted, nonsensical show. That's what this reminds me of.
But you're going to waste your time on it just to report back to us.
Well, I have to watch the Charles's UFO episode now.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of the show.
And before we send him off, ladies and gentlemen, there's Charlie cruising around. Looks like he even has a ray gun on there, but they didn't divulge into that. So
no, there were no mention of ray guns in the story.
Okay.
But there could have been. Who knows?
Now, our next story, I think, is a little bit more believable because it actually was covered on ABC, Fox News, all this, yada, yada. Supersonic stealth jet. Pilot ejects and plane has a mind of its own, basically.
Right. So we go from one flying object to another.
Yeah. This one I believe, though.
This one comes from People magazine.
Okay.
Headline reads, U.S. military asks public to help find its missing $80 million stealth fighter after pilot ejects.
Now, here's key before you get into the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's an $80 million stealth jet. Yes. In my opinion, before even hearing the story after the pilot ejected, the plane was doing its job. We need more of these. I mean, if they couldn't find it, it obviously went stealth.
Well, I have comments about that because I was thinking about that, but I also have comments about that I will reserve for the end of the story.
Okay.
The F-35 aircraft went missing somewhere over South Carolina on Sunday. The U.S. military is searching for a missing $80 million stealth fighter, and they need the general public to help them find it.
And you are confident in said military to defend us in a world war?
Well, that remains to be seen.
Okay.
On Sunday, Joint Base Charleston Air Base in South Carolina noted in multiple social media posts that it was assisting the Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort in searching for a missing F-35B Lightning II after it was involved in a quote-unquote mishap. Quote, the pilot ejected safely and was transferred to a local medical center in stable condition, the base shared on Facebook. Emergency response teams are still trying to locate the F-35. The public is asked to cooperate with military and civilian authorities as the effort continues.
I highly doubt this, but did anyone get footage out there of the F-35 flying over your house without a pilot? Just curious. Just curious. I doubt we're going to get a yes, but if you did, please send it to us at cavecrewradio@gmail.com. We'd love to see it.
I'm sure if somebody spoke up and said, I have footage of the plane, they would go missing in 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
On
More
X,
conspiracy theories, ladies and gentlemen.
On X, formerly known as Twitter, Joint Base Charleston reported that the jet's last known position had encouraged them to focus a search in the area north of JB Charleston around Lake Moultrie and Lake Marion. Yet it might not be so easy. When the pilot ejected from the aircraft, it was still in autopilot mode. Spokesperson Jeremy Huggins told the Washington Post that the aircraft's transponder was not functional for some reason that we haven't yet determined.
They didn't do their pre-flight tests,
making it yet more difficult to locate the fighter jet, which features stealth technology that deliberately hides it from radar systems. Government officials have since questioned how the jet went missing, including Rep. Nancy Mace of South Carolina, who asked on X, how can someone lose an F-35? How
it's
is
like
there
a
not a
haystack? It's a stealth, lady.
How is there not a tracking device? And we're asking the public to what? Find a jet and turn it in?
Yeah.
Huggins
They're going to steal every piece of metal and cash it in at the scrapper.
Huggins ultimately told the Washington Post that the aircraft is stealth, so it has different coatings and different designs that make it more difficult than a normal aircraft to detect. That's true if you're invading another country, not if you're looking for your own fucking jet.
Right. Well,
the base is asking anyone with information that would assist in uncovering the F-35's whereabouts to contact the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing Public Affairs Office at said phone number. The local search is also being conducted in coordination with the Federal Aviation Administration. It remains unclear why the pilot ejected from the jet. A spokesperson for the Joint Base Charleston did not immediately respond to people's request for additional information on Monday. So, a couple of things here. The representative from South Carolina is 100% correct. There should be, I know all planes have a transponder that dictates location and all of that. It's also like the flight recorder that records, all the goings on in there. You would think there's, especially in an $80 million military aircraft, there are backup systems where it's not a regular 747 that's flying from New York to Phoenix and the transponder don't work, they'll fix it later. This is a military aircraft designed for war. You would figure there are failover systems. If the transponder doesn't work, there's something else that fails over and still tells you where the location is. Why that's not there, I have no idea. Now, second thing.
Here's the part I found funny. In a separate story or on television or wherever I saw it, that plane went a long way. Nowhere near where they thought it was.
Well, this leads to my second question. The pilot ejected and was transferred to a local medical center. So they found the pilot.
Yeah. And thank God he's okay. I mean, we don't want anyone to die.
No, I'm not saying that at all. Absolutely. Good for it. Glad he's okay. Why has nobody questioned the pilot? Why did the pilot eject when the plane was on autopilot? That tells me the plane was not in distress if the plane's on autopilot, because if there's distress, the pilot will immediately take control and try to right the wrong, whatever's happening, until ultimately deciding that he may have to ditch if there's something wrong.
Right.
So the plane.
So you're suggesting perhaps he was on edibles or something.
I don't know. I will not say anything out of turn. I don't know, obviously. But there are a lot of questions. Now, if the plane, you got to assume by this point, the plane crashed. The plane is filled with jet fuel, high octane jet fuel. When the plane crashed, there should be an explosion.
Right.
Nobody saw an explosion. There's not smoke coming everywhere. It just vanished into thin air. Is that what they're trying to make us believe?
I don't know. I'm hoping to learn. I'm hoping
I have
to learn.
so many questions, and I don't understand, one, why the military is taking to social media to bring this up, and two, why are they asking Billy Bob Moses in the fucking South Carolina hills, who's cranking out moonshine, to help find their
even
jet?
have cell service to read your tweets or X's, whatever they're called.
Right. He's sitting there making his moonshine, hoarding a gallon of meth, and he's not going to help you find your jet. That's up to you to do that. I don't there's a lot of questions in this story that I just don't get.
And strangely enough, this should be a much bigger story than it was.
That too.
Like, you got these little blurbs. You got the article, and I read something that it was found, and I didn't get into the details. Shame on me. But you'd think this would be like a 2020 special tonight or something, like Dateline, whatever, 60 Minutes.
Another question I have is, what was the payload on this jet? All jets have armament. They have weapons.
Yep.
Some stealth fighters, I'm not saying this one, some stealth fighters are outfitted for nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles. Was there any type of this on this plane?
We've heard nothing of it.
Nothing.
It's all gone radio silent. This is what I'm saying for my question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Real. I mean, it's People Magazine. I saw it on ABC. It's got to be real.
Right. I would assume it's real because these are legitimate, sources. They're not, fucking, Jim Bob's conspiracy site that's posting this.
Right. It's not the smoking gun, which sometimes we read,
right,
which might be a little offbeat. Maybe we're not getting the facts, but this is major publications with a pretty good reputation, I would think. I agree with you. We're not putting the dots together on this. It's just 1 minute it's news, the next minute it's gone. Where's the jet? What are they doing with it? What went wrong? And you're right. If Barbara was around, bless her soul, she should be sitting with the pilot on 2020 having a conversation.
Somebody should be talking to this motherfucker. and here's another thing. Before we go on to the next story, was there no communication between the pilot and the base? There's always, talk going back and forth, maneuvering here, doing this, whatever they're talking about, the practice runs they're doing, whatever. There's always communication back and forth between pilots, even in commercial flights, between the pilots and the tower. Air control tower.
Even a fucking rocket that goes to the moon, they're still talking to each other.
They're still talking to each other nonstop. So
is it possible that King Charles hopped back in the UFO, maybe he was a little bit tipsy, got into a little bit of some alcohol, and he was flying erratically, and the pilot couldn't control it and get him on his stealth radar, and he ejected. into the stratosphere.
Well, this just made me think that there was a story a few years ago about a grounds crew member at a airport that stole a airplane, like a 747.
I remember that. I do. Yeah, yeah.
He stole a plane because he just wanted to fly it. And he was talking to the air traffic control, and they're trying to talk him through it and trying to get him to land. He ultimately he committed suicide. Basically, he crashed the plane and killed himself. Could this be something to that effect, where somebody stole the plane and they don't want to admit it? Because that would be a huge black eye in the military.
Oh, geez.
How does somebody steal an
Imagine
$80 million
security.
stealth fighter? Right.
Yeah.
Could this be something like that?
So you're thinking it's like Al the caretaker. He's sweeping, he's checking around. He knows he's on camera, which we haven't seen, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna kick the bucket one of these days. I've always wanted to fly a fighter jet, and he. You know, it might be as simple in these high-tech things as you flip a switch and woo, you're off into the straight. You know,
it's very possible, and that would lead more. That would make more sense as to why the pilot ejected while the plane was in autopilot, seemingly not under duress, because the person that took the plane has no idea what the fuck they're doing. It was just hitting buttons, maybe.
Yeah,
and ejected himself.
Like, fuck this shit. The fun's over. Okay. Right. I checked that off the bucket list. I'm fucking spewing out.
It's very possible.
It is.
And that's why this is not a bigger story than it is.
But there's got to be a journalist out there. Someone will uncover this.
We need to hire a Cave Crew journalist.
Yes.
To get to the bottom of these stories.
If there is anyone available, we would prefer as an intern position. Because we wouldn't have a lot of money to pay you.
Right.
But there's a lot of smart journalists that started out very small. And we really need someone to do some back checking on this. And then maybe AI can do it for us. Maybe we just feed a bunch of data into Choo Choo Stew AI. And he comes on and says, I've researched. Maybe next week, Choo Choo Stew will give us the answer to what happened to the missing jet.
Oh, maybe. I would love that.
AI scans everything. I mean,
that's true.
You and me, our brains don't work quick enough. So maybe that's a new segment. Maybe it'll be a new avatar. We don't know. But we are now, because no one stepped forward in chat, and we don't have time for this shit, our AI fact checker will debut next week, and it'll be this story that it covers. We'll see what it comes up with.
It'd be like a Walter Cronkite stew.
Yeah, we'll come up with a name. We always do. That's what we do best. But we need help, and we've been asking, ladies and gentlemen, since 2016. Hey, help us out here. Somebody research. Somebody posted on Cave Crew Radio in the Facebook group. Email us, cavecrewradio@gmail.com. It's not happening. You are all now being replaced by an AI. And guess what? I don't have to send the AI a T-shirt.
That's right.
So I'm sorry. You've lost your chance. It is going to be... There's not a name coming off the tip of my head, but if it's not Choo Choo Stew, it'll be a different AI fact checker. Maybe it'll be fact checker Frederick and AI or something like that. I'm not going to commit to it.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, before we go into this story, I have to tell you that I was hearing on the news locally that there is a rise, I guess you'd say, in syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia. Now, Big B and I are long past this point because we have not raped, we have not prostituted, we have not glory holed, and we have not been ass raped. But it's always good to wear a condom. But we're not doing that tonight. We're going to talk about a lady who got a very strange delivery. Again, in my old country, Canada's famous tonight.
Well, much like we had a lot of questions in the previous story, in this question, this woman has questions.
She got the ultra thin, at least, though. That's
well, it's micro thin technology for ultra sensitivity for her pleasure.
Yes. In his, I'm sure, but I never. It was like wearing a raincoat in a shower to me. I don't know about anybody else, but anyway.
This next story comes from Toronto CTV News. Headline reads: Ontario woman has no idea why 1,000 condoms were shipped to her house.
1,000.
A woman from Northern Ontario said she had no idea why a box was delivered to her home containing more than 1,000 Trojan condoms. We received this box that contained 30 boxes of condoms that had 34 in each package, and we had no idea why they were sent to us.
That's like a lifetime subscription.
Angel, her name is, what's her name? Joelle Angelhart.
Oh, she sounds like a porn star.
Joelle Angelhart said that she and her husband did get an email from Amazon that said the contraceptives were on the way, but they assumed it was a scam and ignored it. Now, as we read the story, just keep in mind, her husband got an email. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We automatically assumed
this
the
is
email.
going to get dirty, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there's nothing in the story, but we have to make assumptions.
Right. We do. We always do.
We automatically assumed the email was a scam because it was not something we would purchase, she said. At the time the package arrived, Angelhart's husband was in the hospital recovering from an illness, and they were both baffled as to why they would have received the delivery. We really can't understand what took place and why we received the package at our house. And she was even more concerned when her credit card had been charged $670 for the Amazon order.
Because I was going to ask you, because you said a couple stories ago, we had another one, and you said sometimes they send packages to increase their value or so. So no, she was charged. This is not the same as what we talked about a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Keep in mind, the husband got the email.
Yeah.
Angelhart said she was told that because they were personal items, they could not be returned, and that she would have to pay for the birth control. We clearly did not order this package, and it's a lot of money, she said. Angelhart had been trying to get a refund for the past 4 months from Amazon. When CTV News contacted the company, an Amazon Canada spokesperson said in a statement that the company works hard to provide customers with a great experience and is committed to go above and beyond to make things right for customers and hold bad actors accountable. As we continue to investigate this matter, Amazon secured the customer's account and, and their money was returned. That was great news for Angelhart, who said it's such a relief to finally get that money back.
I was going to say she could have sold them on like Facebook Marketplace and recovered some of the damage.
Well, she was told she could keep the condoms.
Yeah.
Cyber experts
couple, and I don't know about you, but most married couples are not using birth control protection unless you're not starting a family.
Correct.
Right.
Cyber experts say the delivery is similar to a brushing scam when vendors send packages to unsuspecting customers to boost their ratings with fake reviews, what we just said.
Yes.
In this case, Angelhart was charged money, which means her account may have been hacked. Be on the lookout for these type of scams because there is definitely a rise in this type of fraud.
A question, just to give you a chance to not cough. Why would you do that kind of a scam? If you're going to scam someone's credit card, you want to reap a benefit from it, not like just send them merchandise.
Well, just to finish the story, and then I'll comment on that. According to the Better Business Bureau, if you receive an unwanted package, notify the retailer, attempt to identify the sender, check your account for recent orders, change your account passwords, and protect your identity. Now, to answer your question, and I've seen this, I've dealt with fraud for many years through work when I was in finance and all of that, and it was part of my job. If you were going to commit a fraud, something like that, you would buy a small item on the person's credit card to hope it goes under the radar, right? Something, $5 or something like
Right,
that. Something
not
small.
1,000 condoms.
Right. You buy something for $5 to test what you do. What you're doing then is testing the credit card to see, one, if it goes through, and two, if it gets reported. Because a lot of people will, everybody makes online purchases these days. You can't keep track of everything. You see a $5 charge on your credit card. It's like you probably thought you bought something and just forgot.
Right. Like
so you let it go.
I caught it, but like a week late, and I've pre-authorized Be Live to charge my PayPal every year for whatever it is, 179 US or whatever the price is. And I didn't catch it right away. But as I was reviewing things, I saw it and I said, that's okay. So you're right. Yeah. Like sometimes you go, the PayPal charge for this or credit card charge for this, you don't notice it.
Right. And if you're going to scam, you're going to test it. You're going to test it on a small amount. In this case, it was a box of 1,000 condoms that cost $670. That tells me that's not a scam. That's not fraud, because again, there's no benefit to the person. If
Right.
it's a small dollar, the benefit is that they're testing the card to see if it works. If it works, then they will then go use that card on a much larger purchase, a one-time larger purchase that will be directed to their house, some place where they're able to pick it up. Right.
Yeah.
So what this tells me, and why I said the husband got the email, at some point, the husband, I think, made this purchase. It may have been an error that he thought he was purchasing some condoms because maybe he's going to have an affair.
Right.
And made this mistake of, he didn't realize it's a box of 1,000. And, so I don't know how this got here. I didn't, it just seems all too convenient that their credit card got charged. They got an email. This all seems like somebody in that house ordered it.
Either that or he's going to the gangbang. Now, what about this? It doesn't say if they have children, but do you remember the story? I believe it was out of Michigan where the kid got online, and I think it was fast food and pizzas and all kinds of, and he ran up a bill to his dad of like $700 in fast food or treats or something like that.
Right.
Maybe there's a kid in the house, or
well, it doesn't say. And I think I believe in that story. I said what I will say now. There's a lot of screens you have to go to in order to finalize a purchase online.
Yes. I just did one today.
Right. So in that story, I remember I didn't believe that the child did it. I think the husband, the father, whatever it was, did it and then got caught doing it, and like, no, it was a mistake. And in this instance, I think it was the husband ordering condoms.
Right.
As maybe to use with his wife, maybe to use with somebody else, but didn't realize the bulk that he bought. And it suddenly became like, oh, no, we didn't do it. I have no idea.
Maybe I don't know if we have these in Canada. I've never spotted one, but maybe anal glory hole sex.
It could be. I'm sure they have it somewhere in Toronto.
It's a big city. Yeah.
What would be interesting to look at, and I don't know, it doesn't say it in the story, I don't think they got that far, was to do an IP trace on the order.
Yes, and you can do that.
You can do that. Amazon can do that. They can,
unless you've got one of those VIP.
Well, if you're a VPN.
Yeah, VPN. Yeah.
So if you're using a VPN or you're some sort of IP mask, then yes, no, it's not going to work. But It's worth a shot.
Yeah. You should contact Amazon and tell them you want to do this. So basically, with all the facts that have been brought before us, I think we are both in agreement. It's the husband. We're just not sure what the use of it is. I think anal glory hole sex at the local gas station, but whatever it is, like you said, perhaps his wife, maybe they get turned on by role playing and putting a condom on. That's like putting a condom over your tongue before you eat steak, in my opinion. But anyway, we find this person guilty.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, there you have it, folks. A couple more stories before we get into Mike reads the news. I believe two more. Story now about a young lady who had a temper tantrum in a restaurant, which is not necessarily uncommon, except for the fact that she was bare fucking naked.
Next story comes from Marca.com. Headline reads: Naked woman goes on wild rampage, destroys bar in Malaga as bewildered staff watch.
I wonder where Malaga is.
In Spain.
Oh, Spain. Okay. So, yeah, they like to party in Spain.
Spain's southern city of Malaga is well known for its nightlife and terrace culture. Thousands and thousands of tourists holiday there every year in search of sun, good food, and cheap alcohol. A recent video published by the account Wall Street Wolverine shows the bizarre and unexpected moment when a stark naked woman stumbles into a bar and destroys the entire terrace. The motives behind the aggression are unknown, but the woman appears to have some sort of verbal disagreement with staff before picking up various chairs and tables of the terrace and throwing them into the adjacent road.
Sounds like faca or bath salts.
If it was Florida, it very well could be.
Yeah.
The waiters who watched on incredulously at the beginning eventually decided that enough was enough and stopped the woman in her tracks. At the end of the video, the woman appears to shout "sexist" at one of the members of the staff in a nasty face-off. That's the end of the story. There's not a lot of detail here.
No,
but we know she was naked. Why she was naked, we don't know. And she was
angry.
She was angry.
And we know she does not like men.
Yes, that is true because she yelled "sexist."
And also has anger issues.
And apparently doesn't like terrace furniture.
I went out to dinner just last week. And, it was nice. We had a nice meal. We had good conversation. We had a few laughs. But why can't I ever witness any of this shit? I think it would be a hoot to see a woman, and I guarantee you she was not good looking. You couldn't be that lucky. She's probably some 50-year-old babe with her tits sagging, competing with her belly sagging, and stretch marks all over like where's Waldo? But why can we never capture this in real life? I mean, you've got some pretty good stories. I've had a few good stories, but nothing aligns with this.
And you've been to Florida.
And I've been to Florida multiple times, and I've met some very interesting people that I have conversed with. However, I have never seen, a naked guy running around with a stolen golf cart going 190 miles down I-95, or a guy that stole an excavator and he's about to crash it into Walmart. Like, not that I want to see this. I never want anyone to be harmed, but I'm like, how is all this stuff happening? And we never, any of us, ever witness it. And we think we live in bad places. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to the show. Listen to the stories and then think, oh, there was a burglary down the street, or somebody egged my house on Devil's Night, or whatever happened. It ain't nothing compared to the shit we're talking about here.
I mean, it's crazy that, I mean, especially I live in New York, where like shit goes on 24 hours a day. There's not like, oh, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., everything shuts down. Everything is all here 24 hours, 7 days a week. I don't see this shit going on.
Which, speaking of that, as I close down this story before our last one, I'm surprised you don't have a police scanner. I used to have one, and nothing would happen here in Canada, but I was able to pick up one in Detroit. And I think they're all coded channels now. I don't think you can get them anymore, but
yeah, you have to have a newer, upgraded scanner to get the new police channels because they are coded, but and the newer scanners can decode them and transmit. I did listen to police scanners, in my younger years.
Me too. Yeah,
and it's tough because you get like 19 different people talking about different things at the same time, so it's just tough to follow. So I thought it was cool at first, and I kind of really lost interest because, like, when you're watching, like I'm watching live PD, they'll stick on one thing, right, and follow like the chase or whatever. When you're listening to a police scanner, you're just on a police band.
Yeah.
So it's not only this chase, but it's also this dude who's, talking to somebody that's peeing on the corner, something like, it's very tough to follow.
Yeah. No, I remember that too. Like when I was listening locally, it was calmer, it was quieter. But when I switched to Detroit, it was like mayhem. But it was so cool.
You're talking about Detroit.
But it was so cool at the time because I knew a guy, again, this is before the internet perhaps, but we used to sit there. I remember my ex and my ex from probably 10 exes ago, but we'd sit there and we'd listen, we'd lie there, falling asleep. But I got someone that like the guys that decode all the TV channels, and you can buy those. It was like that. Everything was decoded in the scanner, and it was pretty cool. Like,
you can get some cool stuff, but for me, it was just too hard to follow.
Yeah. Anyway, aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we digress, but we still got to get to Mike and some talking FLA, I hope. This is a real weird one. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this story is about yoga. And when you think about yoga, at least I do, I have not yogaed, I guess this would be the saying for the show, it's a calm, relaxing serenity. But that's not what our story is going to tell us.
And we've had stories where people have mistaken things that they see in a house or a store for something completely different.
Correct. Sometimes the mind plays tricks on you.
Right. We had a story of there was a doll sitting in a window. They thought it was a dead body.
Right.
Police were called and all of this.
Or that mannequin that was in the ditch.
Right. Yeah. So, right. So we've had stories like that previously, and this is no different.
No, not at all.
This comes from CNN. The headline reads, "Police rush to reports of ritual mass murder."
Well, it does kind of look, if you look at the picture, it looks like, I can't remember the story, but remember the guy when they drink the purple vodka poison and the spaceship was coming to get them? Yes. I watched a documentary and I can't remember what it was called. But
that was the Hale-Bopp.
The Hale-Bopp, yes, the Hale-Bopp, exactly. Yeah.
So headline reads, "Police rush to reports of ritual mass murder, but it was just a yoga class."
I can't wait to hear the story of the person that reported this.
When a yoga teacher turned out the lights toward the end of one of her classes in Britain this week, her hope was to encourage peaceful relaxation. What followed could not have been further from her intention. Soon after the class was over, a massive police siren shattered the peace as officers raced toward the venue where the class was being held. They were responding to a call from a member of the public worried there had been a mass killing in the studio in the small English coastal resort of Chapel St. Leonard's.
Oh, we'll have to ask Stu where that is.
Millie Laws, who runs Unity Yoga, was teaching the class at the North Sea Observatory in the village, which also doubles as a community space, art gallery, and exercise studio. Seascape Cafe at the observatory described the incident on Wednesday evening in a Facebook post, writing, "If anyone heard the mass of police sirens in Chapel St. Leonard's at 9:30 p.m. last night, please be reassured. They were on their way to the observatory after someone had reported a mass killing in our building, having seen several people laying on the floor, which actually turned out to be the yoga class in meditation."
And maybe she was testing them to see if the sirens would break their chi or their concentration.
I don't know. Dear general public, please be mindful that the observatory has lots of yoga classes happening in the evenings. We are not part of any mad cult or crazy clubs. In a separate Facebook post on the Unity Yoga page, Laws said that the call to the police was triggered after some local dog walkers mistook the scene for a ritual mass murder.
So that right there is more conspiracy theorists walking their dogs. Oh my God, we saw this on a documentary. We need to call this in.
Right. It's somebody like, oh my God, like, yeah, they just watched a murder show for the first time in their life. And suddenly, oh my God, it's real life. It's happening. We need to call the police. And of course, they have to involve themselves in everything.
Yeah.
In a phone interview with CNN Friday, Laws said the 5 police cars showed up at the venue soon after she and the 7 other class participants had left. She was told about the episode in a phone call from the venue manager.
So wait a minute. They didn't even arrive while the class was still going on.
No, apparently they left.
Talk about fast response in this village.
Well, you don't know where they were in the class when the officers were called, right?
So-
It could have been at the end of the class. These people walking by, oh my God, everybody's dead in the studio. Go call the police. The people in the class like, oh, it's over. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye. And then the police show up. Nobody's there.
So they never really got disturbed from their Zen session.
No, I don't think so.
See, at the beginning of the story, I was thinking they're all lying there, they're meditating. She turns the lights off, and sirens show up.
No, they were gone. I was very shocked, she
What's
said.
the fucking big deal then? Nobody got upset over this.
It was so surreal, and I didn't quite believe it was true. I've spoken to most of the people who took part, and they said just how mad it is. They were all participating in a beautiful, deep relaxation that could never have run through any of our minds that it could take in this way. Police confirmed the incident in a statement emailed to CNN on Friday. It read, "A call was made following concerns for the occupants of the North Sea Observatory at Chapel St. Leonard's. Officers attended. We're happy to report everyone was safe and well. The call was made with good intentions."
Go get a coffee and a donut. I guess I can see it. So you're walking your dog. You're in your own little Zen thing. You're looking. There's people lying on the floor in the dark. Maybe we should have someone check this out. I guess this one I can kind of buy a little bit, but it's still dumb.
But is it? You're walking past a yoga studio. People lie on the floor when they do yoga.
Yes, they do.
It's not uncommon that you're lying on the floor when you do yoga.
Yeah. And other weird shit. They stand on their hand. They pretend they're tigers and giraffes and zebras, and nobody calls about that shit.
To me, these are just nosy people that want to interject themselves in everything. and probably, like I said, saw Murder Show, and like I watch the Investigation Discovery Network. I watch all about the serial killers and all of that. I don't walk past yoga studios thinking everybody's dead.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
I have not
I have not called crime on yoga studios.
I have not called crime on yoga. I'm writing that down.
Okay. It's how we identify things, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a first-time listener, is we always reinforce with you that we may not be the experts on things, but we proclaim that we have not done such stupidity.
Correct.
All right, we're done?
That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move into a favorite part of our show. He contributes in a couple of segments, but tonight we only have Mike Reads the News. And in the next 2 minutes or so, it'll give us a quick break, but you will still be entertained with news stories you hear nowhere else. And he gets through them a lot quicker than we do. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mike Reads the News.
And now, Cave Crew Radio presents Mike Reads the News with Mike Jolitz.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mike Reads the News. Hello to you, DK. And hello, Sir Big B. How are you guys doing today? I hope you are doing well. Today is September the 22nd, and it is now time for Mike Reads the News. Danny Masterson's wife filed for divorce. It's not like he's going to be around for a long while. If you don't remember, she was the cute blonde in Wilson Phillips. There might be a merger in the future between the USFL and the XFL. IDK about you, but two shitty football leagues joining out doesn't mean people will watch your crappy product. Joe Jonas is getting divorced from his wife of 4 years. I have no idea who she is, but she found out about it when the news broke. His people apparently didn't get with her people. Tomorrow is the first day of fall, everybody. Enjoy turning your clocks back. Hate that shit. Lincoln Howard's second cousin twice removed, Xavier Howard of the Miami Dolphins, has 4 babies on the way. Man, his pullout game is weak. He's the Nick Cannon of the NFL. Musician Roger Whittaker died. He was 87. You guys have heard of him. Admit it. Oh, no. Vanna White is getting a raise from Wheel of Fortune. She was only making $3 million a year for turning letters for almost 20 years. That poor woman. Not. They should let Jenna Jameson turn the letters for a while. She's qualified. Ozzy Osbourne is going under the knife again for another neck surgery, guys. I hope it goes well. He's 74. And finally, in the news, the 2-1 Wisconsin Badgers are playing Purdue right now. Go Badgers! I gotta go, guys. Juice, ciao, and auf Wiedersehen. Later, bye-bye. I gotta watch the game.
Big Badger fan. I think he must be originally from Wisconsin because he seems to like them. Although I cheer for Ohio State, I cheer for Alabama, I cheer for Texas, whatever. I've never been to there.
And may I say, Mike, I am disappointed a little bit in you. You said Joe Jonas is getting divorced from somebody you have no idea who she is. She is Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. If you look up Sophie Turner, she's very, very attractive.
Okay. All right.
Quite the attractive woman. How you didn't know her, I have no. I'm a little bit disappointed.
All right. Well, I'm sure he's going to watch on replay or listen to the podcast, and he will get your message and perhaps retaliate. But nice to see. Mike also hates turning the clocks backwards. which we spoke about on the pre-show.
Well, we won't do that until November, though.
Right.
He doesn't do it at all because he's in Arizona.
Well, okay.
They don't do that in Arizona.
All right. I didn't know. I wish we didn't do it here. We've been talking about it for years that we're not going to do it anymore. And I'm like, yes, let it stay light till 6 o'clock in the morning. Or in the night. I mean, we're going to work in the morning. I don't care how fucking dark it is. I'm already depressed. But give me an hour daylight just to get home and get in the house. So you can, like, at its worst point, it gets dark at like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, yep.
It's so depressing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a lot. I think we can squeeze these through. What do you think?
Sure.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another segment. We gave you a bunch of them last week, but we have just a few more to get to tonight. It's time for
Cave Crew Radio presents Florida in the News.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the most infamous state in the world. And we do have a couple of, like Mike would say, tidbits for you tonight to end the show. This goes under, you're not going to be very inconspicuous.
That's not the right one.
Story about a what?
It's not the right one.
Oh. What's the first one?
Stolen truck first, and then the stolen ambulance.
All right, let's. Where is stolen truck? I'm usually spot on with this, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize.
Yes, this one.
I retract. This one is about a stolen truck, and we'll step up our game in the next story.
Yes, this story comes from clickorlando.com. Headline reads, suspected truck thief jumps in canal, backstrokes to escape Port Orange police.
My favorite part, he backstroked.
Like he's in the fucking Olympics. An accused truck thief was arrested on Thursday after fleeing from Port Orange police into a nearby canal, according to the police department. In a release, police said the officers tried to pull over a truck that was towing a trailer through though the truck instead fled after letting a passenger out. Detectives said the truck had been reported stolen out of Sumter County, while the trailer was reported stolen out of Lake County. Eventually, the truck pulled into the south end of Bushman Park near Commonwealth Boulevard, driving through a locked gate and onto a walking path, nearly striking a person on the path. Police said that the truck continued to flee until the path ended, which is where the driver crashed the truck and ran off on foot. The driver, who is 40-year-old Ray Norris, jumped into a canal nearby and began swimming away from police, prompting a chase as officers ran after him along the shore.
This would be great for live PD, but ladies and gentlemen, he was not swimming. He was backstroke.
Body camera video shows Norris swimming through the water as law enforcement orders him to come out. Quote, he is backstroking right now northbound in the canal, an officer is heard saying. You know he's saying this on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I brought up the scanner. This is when it would be entertaining.
Right, you need a scanner in Florida.
Right, because I don't know about you, but when I backstroke anytime I'm swimming, it's more of a relaxing, almost like water yoga.
Mm.
Right? Like, if I'm trying to get somewhere, I'm going to be like doing the butterfly, whatever this is, the freestyle. I'm not going to be backstroking, trying to get away from like a shark or the police or whatever it may be.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I can't swim.
Oh, that would be good for Joel's Jamboree next year.
No, it wouldn't, because I would go nowhere near water.
Okay, so you don't like pools, you don't like lakes.
Nope.
Not even up to your waist and kind
I
of
can't
fresh.
swim. I don't go in it.
Oh, okay. See, I was in the Navy Reserve, so I had to swim.
You have to, yes. Police were ultimately able to remove Norris from the canal, and he was taken into custody. According to investigators, the passenger that had been let out of the truck, later identified as Christopher Norris, was arrested at a nearby shopping plaza. Ray Norris faces charges of grand theft, resisting an officer without violence, fleeing law enforcement, and criminal mischief. Meanwhile, Christopher Norris faces charges of resisting an officer without violence, trespassing, and violation of probation.
Oh.
Both men are held on no bond.
No bond.
Now, I want to add a little bit to this story. We always talk about a map. We need a map of things.
Yeah.
They provided us with a map.
So somebody, wait a minute.
That is the canal. That
Okay.
is Bushman Park. That is the canal where he was doing the backstroke.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, we got a starting point for you here. If you're a fan of the show, you don't need to support us monetarily, but you could go back, listen to all the stories, and just put a little pin everywhere. There were, and again, Big B and I eventually, through retirement or lottery winnings or maybe a GoFundMe at some point, I've seen some pretty ridiculous GoFundMes, would like to tour all these places and perhaps do a Cape Crew Radio documentary. And get on the TV channel that the Prince Charles UFO channel is on.
Nub TV.
I think there would be synergy there.
I think we would work well on Nub TV.
Yes. We're going to put a petition out there, ladies and gentlemen, for you to sign to get Big B and DK. And again, we're both employed. We have mortgages. We have children. We have responsibilities. So this would not be $1 here or $1 there. We're not homeless people. We would need to be fully supported. We would have to buy a lot of gear, hire a director, because I can't produce and do a documentary at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
This would take a lot of work. But another great idea, we're just passing through that maybe someone rich like Hugh Hefner will be listening and go, I want to help these guys. They're fucking nuts, but I want to see this in my lifetime. And we'd be so gracious, and we do a fantastic job. If we didn't have to worry about anything financially, ladies and gentlemen, we would give it our all.
That's right.
And
unfortunately, Hugh Hefner's dead, so.
But
won't be him.
I realize that, but I was using him as an example. But both Big B and I would need separate hotel rooms because after the duress of all the filming and investigating, we would need some alone time.
Need alone time.
Yeah, not together.
Correct.
Just to clarify that. All right. Am I in the right place now?
Now comes the ambulance one.
DK spoils the whole thing here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, from a stolen truck to a stolen ambulance.
This comes from CBS 12. Headline reads, sick ride. Woman in hospital gown takes ambulance on joyride in Port St. Lucie.
Now, do you think she was tripping on Demerol or something? Like
I have no idea.
No idea.
But we may find out. We don't know.
She looks like Megan. I don't know if you saw that movie yet, but she looks like a doll Megan.
I heard of it. I have not seen the movie.
You got to watch it. It's a trip. Anyway, go ahead.
A woman from Miami led law enforcement on a chase after police say she stole an ambulance from a hospital. The Port St. Lucie Police Department said on Wednesday afternoon, 25-year-old Marquisa Allen was sitting on a bench outside the HCA Florida St. Lucie Hospital on Southeast Tiffany Avenue. Jesus Christ, that's hard for me to say.
Holy shit.
In her hospital gown.
I'm pretty sure they didn't provide a map with this one.
Okay, I'm going to read that again. 25-year-old Marquisa Allen was sitting on a bench outside the HCA Florida St. Lucie Hospital on Southeast Tiffany Avenue in her hospital gown. Jesus.
So she didn't get very far then if she was in front of the hospital.
Well, that's where she was sitting, and then she stole an ambulance.
Oh, I see. She was having a smoke or a juice box and then said, it's go time. Just same as the guy that stole the fighter plane.
Having a juice box.
Well, what else would you? A Jello? I don't know. I haven't been in the hospital, so I
like that. That's when Allen noticed ambulance personnel were inside dropping off a patient, leaving the ambulance unattended. Police say Allen, still in her hospital gown, stole the ambulance and fled the parking lot. Officers say Allen was unaware of the GPS tracker in the ambulance. There's a fucking GPS tracker in the ambulance, but not an $80 million airplane.
You beat me to it. I was thinking the same thing. You got an $80 million jet, and you got maybe, I don't know, $90,000 ambulance. It's probably 30 years old, and they got a tracker. They're able to put one of those iPod things that you can get on Amazon for $10.
Yes, the Apple tracker.
Right.
I forget. I have like 9 of them.
Yes, we've spoken of that before as well. Anyway,
this allowed officers to provide her location to surrounding law enforcement. The Florida Highway Patrol located a stolen ambulance stuck in traffic on the turnpike.
Turn on the fucking sirens, you idiot.
As troopers closed in on Allen, police say she left the ambulance and began to run away, but was taken into custody after a short-foot pursuit. FHP arrested Marquisa Allen of Miami and took her to the Martin County Jail for giving false information to police, driving with a license suspended, and resisting without violence. PSLPD says additional charges will be filed against Allen.
Oh. Now, I want you to know something here, ladies and gentlemen, that is completely off topic. She has those really cool slippers they give you in the hospital.
Like those socks with the tread on the bottom?
I always thought those were really cool.
Did you really?
No, I just give me something to talk about. Wouldn't you like a pair to go to bed for some me time? Put on those cloth hospital slippers and chill out. Last story of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll get into the fun stuff. I remember reading this. This is one we never got to a couple of weeks ago, but this guy, master thief, expert, should be stealing diamonds, fell asleep.
Final story of the night comes from, again, CBS12.com. Headline reads, thief caught napping on the job. Detectives nab burglary suspect in broad daylight. A brazen thief is behind bars after detectives say he stole clothes, tools, ice cream, and jewelry, and then proceeded to take a nap after it was done. Where was he going with ice cream? It melts.
I'd be tired too, but yeah, exactly. What a combination. You said clothes, tools, ice cream,
and jewelry.
Right. Let that soak in for a minute, folks.
Which one of these is not like the other? Shortly after 8 a.m. on Wednesday, deputies with the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office responded to a home in South Indian River Drive in a reference to a burglary. At the scene, deputies learned that the homeowner called 911 after discovering a man sleeping next to a pile of tools inside his garage. The suspicious man was awoken by homeowners, fleeing the scene and leaving the tools behind. At the same time, detectives with the SLCSO, Criminal Investigations Division, were nearby investigating a separate burglary where the suspect had entered a residence and helped himself to some ice cream, tools, clothing, and jewelry, all while the homeowner was asleep.
So sleeping is narcolepsy is the common theme of this story.
Well,
Everybody needed a snooze. Maybe there was like some sleeping gas in the air or something.
Sleeping gas.
Well, I mean, the owner was asleep. Well, we have dogs, so it's a little different. So I can sleep. When I take a nap, I don't worry. I don't worry about locking doors or any shit like that. Like, I'm going to hear something, right? I do lock the doors at night and stuff, but I'm just saying. We have dog, but like, how can you? The dude's opening and closing your freezer. He's helping himself to a scoop and a plate. You're gonna hear a little cling cling, and then he's like in your safe or wherever you store your jewelry, unless it's sitting on your kitchen counter.
Maybe it's in the freezer with the ice cream.
Right, but I do not excuse the owner for napping through this.
Thinking the two cases might be related, the detectives say they searched the area and noticed a suspicious person removing tools from an unlocked trailer a few houses away. As detectives approached him, he fled on foot. After a brief foot chase, the detectives apprehended 42-year-old Timothy Wayne Castellano and recovered numerous items from his possession. This is a quote. This is a stark reminder to keep your doors locked anytime, day or night. Time was not a factor for this brazen thief who dressed like a construction worker and committed his felonious acts during all hours of the day. If you see something or someone who appears to be out of place, call 911.
The construction cosplayer or cosplayer, whatever you would say.
This is why we need that game when Mike comes on next.
Yes. I'm not good at pronouncing things. My intentions are well. My bladder's about to break and the show's almost over. So you got to forgive me towards the end of the show. Plus, I've been drinking multiple beers. All right. Great story. Talking FLA, ladies and gentlemen. Not always weekly, but a regular segment on the show. So before we go on to closing, we made pretty good time tonight. This is when we try to name the show. I have to admit, I don't really think I might have one, but I think I have some good show notes here. I can't remember if it was at the beginning of the show when I was being harassed or the pre-show, but Jason Scott said, "Are you live on OnlyFans?"
I was at the very beginning of the show where you say we're live on Cave Crew Radio. We're live on Facebook, and
I really like that, and I appreciate the compliment of both Biggie B and I thinking we could pull that off. Just right now, it's a long one. I don't even know if it was a show note, but it made me laugh, ladies and gentlemen. And it depends how old you are if you will get this, but which one's not like the other?
That's right.
It is also the season of yellow phlegm. I had written that down.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Jolitz. Always try to pull some good out of what he does because he's a great creator. His pull-out game is weak.
Yeah, his pull-out game is weak. Not Mike Jolitz's pull-out game.
No, well, we don't know that. So instead of I have not, it should be I have strong pull-out game.
I have pulled out.
Yeah.
I have pulled out.
I have pulled out. There you go. I have not done a lot of things, but I have pulled out. Yes, but I pulled out. Anyway, I only have two that might be show names. I'm not sure either of them are good, and I hope you're going to bail me out here. I just had down 1,000 condoms.
Mm-hmm.
Quite simple. I do like this one a little bit, though, just in case you don't have anything. It might be a show note, but I like this one most of all. Mad cults and crazy clubs.
Mad cults. That was the yoga murder
yes,
story.
I really, really did like that one. All right. I don't think you wrote down much. I'm going to say 4.
5.
Oh, you were ahead of me. Okay, so you're very sly when you make notes. What do we got?
First one is I'm hoping would be a show note. I have not called crime on yoga.
That's a long one too. I have not called crime on yoga. What a good one. Okay. Number 2.
There's another one. I have not OnlyFansed.
Oh my God. We're going to be you know what? We're going to have to make a t-shirt that says I have not.
And list everything on the back.
Yeah. Like you see, you're thinking same as me. Like they have all the tour dates.
Yep.
We're going to work on that. We're going to work. So I have not OnlyFans.
That was a direct result from Jason Scott.
Right, which kind of shocked me when he said that. But anyway, it was good.
This one from the ambulance story. I just liked it. Having a juice box.
You know,
I like that.
Well, what else do you do when you're in they get those little things of Jell-O, and you get those little things with I don't even know if they're allowed to have straws anymore in today's world, but whenever you visit someone in the hospital, they got the little juice box.
A little juice box.
Yeah.
A little juicy juice.
Yeah.
Next, I don't even know where this came from, but I have gas station glory hole.
Yeah, but because of the condoms.
Oh, man. Okay.
And you accusing the husband.
Got it. Okay. But my favorite, and you said it in passing just recently. I like sleeping gas.
Sure. I don't know.
It's so innocent, yet so sinister. It's sleeping gas.
Yeah. So I like sleeping gas.
No. It's just sleeping gas.
It's okay. Sorry. I thought you said I like it's just.
No, don't write it's just the 2 words, sleeping gas. That's it.
Oh, that's it?
Yes. Sleeping gas.
Okay. You got it. That's the name of the show. I'm sorry. Well, you misled me because you're so.
Well, I was describing. You just said I like it. Sleeping gas.
Yeah. You got it. Sleeping gas is the name of the show, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So don't be jealous tonight. My me time. Hopefully the wife's in bed. I have Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Ooh, look at you.
And if there's any lying around at the end, you can bet I'll be eating the skin.
And leave the unskinned chicken for everybody.
Yeah, don't ever do that. You'll regret it. No, the skin is the best part.
The skin is good, but you leave the unskinned chicken for it. So
no, I just throw it away or feed it to the dogs. I mean, I don't think anymore. But I just like the skin. There was a place in South America where you could buy skin. Anyway, that's for another show.
That needs a story because just the statement, there was a place in South America where you could buy skin. Human, dog, what?
There was a story, and maybe we didn't cover it, but where you could buy like a bowl of Kentucky Fried Chicken skin.
But that's not what you said. You said there's a place in South America where you could buy skin.
Because I'm tired and I have to pee. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week for a brand new episode. And if you want to bring it up next week, feel free. I'll try to explain.
I will have to. Later.
All right. See ya.
I want you to pack up and get out.
Get the hell out of here! Go! Just go! Get out! Get the hell out!
No! Get out!
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
ISIS has spread like cancer. Another mess I inherited.